Guys, I was at a Blink-182 concert last week. Hell yeah.
You're always at these shows.
It's the summer of pop punk, so sue me. I'm not going to get a $240 stitched Aaron Rodgers jersey and take it to the Plain White Tees concert I'm going to in a week's time.
See, if I did have
it was every freaking concert. What's next?
Plain White Tees and We the
Dashboard
Kings.
Confessional?
And then My Chemical
Fall Out
Romance.
Boy?
Third Eye Blind.
Speaking of getting the party started.
For the victory lap, though. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I stress overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Switch gears, we keeping haters in the rear. At the blood, sweat, and tears, and my goal so near. I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. 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 And today.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 79 of your favorite podcast that combines all the grid of Formula One and all the iron of American football. It's the Gridiron Podcast. As always, I'm Sean Barie, and joining me as we talk about our favorite subjects, Formula One and football, is our NFL.com resident talent writer, Nick Shook, holding down the fort in the land. Nick, what's that on your helmet? Or not helmet, hat?
It's a Buckeye leaf.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure?
Are you
Yes,
sure about that?
I know.
Sure about
Everybody's
that?
like, oh, it's a weed leaf.
You
No,
sure
it's a
about
Buckeye.
that, bro?
First off, it's legal in Ohio now. Shout out to the voters of Ohio.
Buckeyes are legal in Ohio?
This is what it is. Here is the Ohio State helmet. These are pride stickers. They're Buckeye leaves. It's synonymous with Ohio State football. It's across all their branding. It's a Buckeye leaf.
We don't talk about
420,
college
bro.
football on this podcast, NFL only, but what did Ohio State do over the weekend, Nick?
They beat number 1 Texas in Columbus in one of the uglier games you're going to see unless you like
That was a
football.
pretty ugly game, I'm not going to lie. And then also holding down the fort north of the border in British Columbia, Katie Caldwell, our Canadian queen.
Back in Kimberley, BC, I'm finally not attempting to do a pod on my laptop with very bad Wi-Fi. We're back in the studio.
It's okay.
Katie,
attempts were made.
Yeah, attempts were made. She's no longer trying to follow the Fighting Taters and do her podcast from a potato, which is fantastic. Guys, I wanted to run something by you real quick. I was thinking about this at the gym last night. Our branding, admittedly, makes it hard to find us on search, right? I was wondering, not that I want to rebrand the show, because I don't, but I was like, how do we twist Gridiron into something that's easier to search for? And the best thing I could come up with, and this is just to show you where my brain is as week 1 of the NFL season arrives, was ironing the grid.
I mean, of all the rebrands, that's certainly one of them.
I have no notes.
I mean,
Nick,
we
it's
mix
perfect.
in a little bit of home ec, becomes a little bit of a Martha Stewart mixed with F1, mixed with football. Why not just diversify the show?
I'm trying to think of a worse rebrand, and
HBO Max to Max, back to HBO Max.
back to HBO Max. Yeah, that's a good one. Or Katie, what about when the Canucks went away from the whale logo back to like their original throwback? There was a hockey rink with a stick in the middle of it.
That one wasn't as bad as moving away from the black and orange skate jersey.
Okay, fair point. There've
That's
been a lot
my
of
favorite
bad
Canucks jersey over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah,
They're
there've been a lot of
looping it
bad
back
rebrands.
in.
A lot of bad rebrands, Nick. This is one of them. So, you can keep working on that while you're at the gym. Just marinate, ruminate on it.
Well, look,
we like
when
the
you're-
effort. We like the
You're
effort.
dedicating so much oxygen and blood to feeding the muscles and fueling the muscles. There's not much left for the brain.
Nick, we were all thinking
Was there
it.
ever?
Oh,
Was there
I'm
ever?
head. I lift weights. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think. I large man.
I get that all the time. I'm just such a beefcake that people naturally assume I'm
I mean,
an idiot.
Katie, I don't know if you know this, but in my home gym that doesn't exist, I have a poster of you, like, because you're the
I'm
person
the
that
inspo?
Yes, exactly.
I
there's
figured that was
Arnold.
the case, but it's nice to
There's
get the confirmation.
Arnold, and then there's Katie
there's-
Caldwell.
there's
like
Arnold.
those are the tiers. That's where you want to
Notably
get
jacked.
to.
We have Arnold, Serge Dubray, Flex Wheeler, Ronnie Jackson, Katie Caldwell.
Little do we know, it's literally just like some bodybuilder, and then he crudely pasted Katie's head over top of hers.
This is probably the one rare time where it's better to be listening to it and not watching it, because if you're watching it, you're like, you sure about
You sure about this?
This is why you go watch us on YouTube. Where can they find us, Sean?
They can find us on YouTube. Are we still on Twitch?
Yeah.
We're still on Twitch. All right, you can also find us on Instagram at Gridiron Pod. That's the best way to reach us on social media. Or if you're old school, if you're an OG, you can reach us by email at thegridironpodcast3. That's the number 3. Thegridironpodcast3. Damn those other two. At gmail.com. So hit us up on IG at Gridiron Pod or on email at the Gridiron Podcast 3 via email, by email.
On email.
And then if you'd like to just do snail mail, I mean, if you're really old school, Katie's home address is...
Sean, I'd be murdered in under 24 hours. If we're honest. Again, you should see my DM requests. We're not giving out the whole Maddie.
You know what? We cannot gamble on this podcast. It is strictly against NFL codes, which Nick is an NFL employee. But like, if I was to take bets on how long Katie would last over under 24 hours, I mean, I think that's a good line.
I don't want to go down this path. Let's move the show
doing
forward.
What she loved.
Making memes and trolling people. We got a lot to get into this week on episode 79 of the Gridiron Podcast. We're coming off the back of the Dutch Grand Prix. Where were we, Katie?
Dutch.
We were Dutch. Yes, Zandvoort in the Netherlands. So we're going to break down that race because, man, what a race it wasn't and then was.
It was actually pretty good off the start.
It was a perfectly memeable race. Like, this might be the most memeable race this season. Or so far, at least.
Yes.
There goes Sean. Max Verstappen pulls off a great move on the opening lap, and he completely glosses over it. Sure, that's fine.
Sure. And then it's also week 1 of the NFL, and since our two loves are Formula 1 and football, we'll get into talking about week 1 action before things kick off tomorrow night, because we're recording on a Wednesday, tomorrow night in Philly. So, Dutch Grand Prix, Dutch, Zandvoort. Yeah, you had... I mean... Nick and I were talking about this last week. It was difficult to imagine Max Verstappen not winning his home race. I know he didn't last year. Lando won it by a country mile or country kilometer.
Thank you.
Either way. But Max had a great qualifying, sticks his Red Bull P3, Oscar Piastri P1, Lando Norris P2, Lando Norris fastest in free practice 1, 2, and 3. But Oscar was faster when it mattered most. And then what a just diabolical, last stint for Lando. Car blows up in his face. I was kind of wondering, because we've seen so many Mercedes power units this season crap out, whether it was Williams, whether it was Mercedes, so many Williams power units, that would be funny. So many Mercedes power units have crapped out, and we were wondering when it was going to happen, if it was going to happen to McLaren. It finally did, and it was Lando, their first DNF of the season due to mechanical problems. So, Oscar winds up P1, Max Verstappen says, thank you very much. Lando Norris winds up P2. And then who winds up in P3 after sticking his car P4 in qualifying, Katie?
Sweet baby boy Isack Hadjar. Oh.
Isack Hadjar.
Single tear.
Isack Hadjar. We really started from the bottom. Now we hear.
Actually, he started in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, on formation lap.
Yeah.
Started in the wall, now we hear.
Now we hear.
Print the shirts, Nick. Print the shirts. Yeah, Isack Hadjar.
GridironPod.com. No, I'm just kidding.
Collects a very unlikely podium. His first podium of his Formula 1 career. Again, it was due to Lando Norris's engine blowing up in his face, but at the same time, a podium's a podium. You're not going to complain if you're an Isack Hadjar fan. Just, how cool is that? Oh, and then he breaks the trophy, by the way. So we just can't have anything nice.
Can we stop?
Message.
If I have one piece of advice for baby boy Isack Hadjar, it is right now, you better be blocking Helmut Marko's number.
Yes.
You block that number, and if somehow he gets through to you, you decline that call. If he approaches you, turn around, walk away. Because he's going to be looking at you to be in that second Red Bull seat, and that is the absolute last thing we want as F1 fans.
If he starts to speak to you, tell him he has halitosis and walks away.
Just be like, hey man, I'm busy. I gotta go vacuum my bathtub in Monaco. Nick and I were talking last week, though, because there were a lot of rumors popping up that Red Bull were seriously considering four-time IndyCar champ Alex Palou to be in that second Red Bull seat next season, which makes sense. I mean, he's won 4 IndyCar titles, 3 in a row. He won the Indy 500 this year. There's really not much left for him to do over here in the States and Canada, North America, you know. But at the same time, does he really want to give all of this up to go take one shot in Formula One in a car that has consistently failed its driver? That's up for him to decide. But now you have Isack Hadjar, who is absolutely looking like the Rookie of the Year. Kimi Antonelli was. I would say it's now, you know...
Was he?
Earlier in the season, yeah, 100%.
Until he went to Europe, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, earlier on, we still have 9 races left. Like, the season's barely half over. You forget that we've taken like 2 long breaks already. Like
but mathematically we are more than half over.
Yes, I said we're slightly more than halfway over. I don't get the math is mathing on my end.
That's just a personal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying now it is Isack Hadjar. I'm agreeing with you. We're saying the same things here, guys. I feel like I'm just being attacked. But if you're Isack Hadjar, I mean, yeah, you're blocking. And any Red Bull contacts that come at you, nope, I'm good. No thanks.
Nope.
I'm happy at racing bulls.
I would like to do some attacking, if that's okay.
Great.
All right. Aggression insinuated aside, why the hell has Racing Bulls developed a better car than Red Bull? Answer that for me. Somebody on God's green earth, answer for me how Red Bull's car, I don't care how finely you tune it toward Max Verstappen, you're getting consistently outperformed by Racing Bulls. Not your top driver. Sometimes you are. Not this week. If Liam Lawson wasn't an idiot, both of those Racing Bulls would have finished ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. How? I feel like we've talked about this a million times, and maybe those who are listening are tired of it, want us to move on to a separate subject. We will, because this race is full of it. But I just could not help but think, there's Max in P3 during the race, and there's Isack Hadjar, no offense to Isaac, in P4 in a competitive car. How is this possible? This is a junior team. You're not even your sister team anymore. What the hell is going on, Milton Keynes and associated areas?
Yuki Tsunoda should not be performing better in a Racing Bull than in the second Red Bull seat.
No.
Like, if I had one dream for the rest of the season, it's that him and Liam Lawson would switch back as someone that cares deeply about Yuki Tsunoda and not so deeply about Liam Lawson.
I think Yuki Tsunoda was kind of the sacrificial lamb here. I mean, I really do. We kind of knew it. We knew it going in as soon as they swapped drivers with Liam and Yuki. You're like, I mean, maybe Yuki does better than Liam because it's, you know, the bar was on the floor when it came to Liam Lawson in that second Red Bull seat, but the bar has barely been raised off the floor by Yuki. That car, if you're not Max Verstappen, is just undrivable. So, Nick, you're right. Why is a junior team, why has your minor league team fared better than your second driver, than both cars right now?
Why do you have one in the first place? And why is it doing better?
That's we don't have enough time to get into that whole... Yeah,
I mean, I feel like we've done enough testing now to just know that, like, that's the problem. It's not, it maybe not even be the driver. It's the fact that your car is so finely tuned toward one. I cannot stand it. I don't want to linger on this. I just can't stand it.
No, but I'm saying, but in the same breath, as long as Red Bull keep going in the direction they're going in, it doesn't matter how many junior drivers you have and how dominant they become in that second team in Racing Bulls. The second you move them up to the big team, they're just going to crash and burn because they're not set up for success at the higher level. Red Bull have to turn that around. But you're right. Let's not.
Doesn't feel like a promotion anymore, like it used to.
No. It feels like just like a punishment, a death sentence.
Putting time out.
Like the next time they promote a junior driver up to the Red Bull team and he has to like walk down the paddock, like is it going to be like death row, like dead man walking here, dead man walking, dead man walking.
Gallows, Jesus.
Seriously. I mean, is a priest going to have to like walk behind Isack Hadjar reciting last rites? Like this is, it's getting to that point where Red Bull will have to figure it out because if and when Max Verstappen eventually leaves, they're going to be one of the worst teams on the grid. And that's not up
maybe,
for debate.
but then 2026, like it feels like everything's being thrown into a blender, like because of all the reg changes. Like who really knows? If we were on the same path, I completely agree, Sean. Then, yeah, I don't think that's even close to a number one team anymore. While we're talking about Liam, Carlos said something really funny on the radio after their crash. She's like, he's just so stupid. This guy, it's always the same guy. And I was like, I feel so seen as a longtime Liam Lawson hater. It's always the same guy. I'm like, it truly is Carlos.
What was even funnier is he got a penalty for their interaction, and they're like, yeah, 10-second penalty. And he's like, wait, for me?
For us?
For me, yeah, Carlos was the one that got the penalty.
And he's like, what? Are you kidding me?
I forget what his exact quote was. We could look it up. But he was like, "This is unbecoming of Formula One and the FIA." Like, just so politely saying, "You're full of shit."
Yeah.
Unbecoming
What
is
was,
so
in a nutshell, the story of many driver interactions in this race. So without further ado, Sean, let's go there.
Yes, because as bad of a day as Yuki Tsunoda had, or Liam Lawson had, and as good of a day as Isack Hadjar had, complete opposite for Ferrari. Because, man, just when you think Ferrari's kind of taking that next step, they're getting there. Bam. Life comes and just knocks you back down a couple of pages. Charles Leclerc, DNF, crashes. Lewis Hamilton, DNF. It's a double DNF for Ferrari in Dutch, which produced just one of the most memeable moments of this season, if not over the past couple of years in Formula One. Charles Leclerc just sitting on a sand dune with his arms on his knees because he was unable to cross the track, and just sitting there amongst people and media.
amongst the people.
Exiled.
One thing I've learned through social media is a lot of our listeners and followers really love a peek into the group chat. Every time I post about that, people go wild. And it is a very active group chat because we're all three very dear friends. We're all pretty funny, I think. Sean texts the group. We've had a lot of problems in the past with spoilers, and we've had to have a lot of talks of like, guys, we can't be given spoilers. And Sean, you really, really did try, but he goes, guys, no spoiler, but there's going to be a lot of memes coming in about Charles. And then right away I went, okay, so we're going to get a Charles DNF.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean that. I just said there's going to be memes coming out.
We knew.
That doesn't
but
mean
it was
it's a DNF.
Because when it was happening, so all of a sudden I'm watching the race being like, okay, I feel like Charles is going to crash out. How's it going to happen? Because I didn't know what it was going to look like. All of a sudden I hear, yellow flag is out. And then it goes, Lewis Hamilton is off the road and out of the race. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me right now. Because the whole time I'm like, it's going to be Charles DNF. I didn't know we were in for a double Ferrari DNF. So then when it happens with Charles, he's sitting, the memes, you're right, Sean, are so funny. He's sitting on that little hill. When Lando crashes out and then it goes to him sitting there and the camera pans to Charles also still sitting there like 25 minutes later, I was like in tears laughing. It wasn't a funny moment, but the visual of the director to go from Lando sitting there to Charles sitting there was unbelievable cinema as a viewer. The whole thing was just so wild. He sat there for so long. It was giving, Mom, can you come pick me up? When he's just sitting there on a cell phone. Like, where did he get a cell phone from? It
wasn't like, Mom, can you come pick me up? It was, your parents forgot to come pick you up in the school pickup line. You're just sitting there on the curb like, Mom, are you coming to pick me up? Oh, you're running late? Okay, I'll just sit here then. It's like that. I mean, this race was just one giant meme. And the fact that I guess they couldn't make their way back to the paddock because of the track layout, so they had to kind of wait there until it was over, or there was a red flag or something, and they just wound up sitting there, just in the sand at the beach, crashed out.
The photographers had a day with that.
Yes.
Like, so many of the photos are so hauntingly beautiful, but it just feels like it sums up Ferrari season so well, especially knowing that Lewis... Like, did you guys see the shot of the two Ferraris passing each other different directions to go back to the pit lane because they'd both just crashed out?
No.
It was like, this feels representative of the entire Ferrari season.
I think also too. I think Charles was milking it a little bit because he had his helmet off and he was kind of given like Blue Steel and Magnum. He was given yes. He like was looking over his shoulder. I'm like, I feel like this could absolutely be like a Giorgio Armani cologne commercial.
It easily could be.
Not all days are good days at the track, but at least you can smell good.
Armani.
Charles by Dior.
How about the crash itself? How about like that was?
What was Katie doing?
The camera angle did a lot of like favors in terms of cinema because like the first angle they show in the replay is at the end of the turn, and the way it was positioned, and the way Charles basically like got almost T-boned. His car rotates so violently that I legitimately yelped when I watched it. I was like, oh my God. Because, like, he loses not only the front wing, the front nose is gone, too. And then somehow he manages to spin it back around before realizing, I can't go anywhere. This car is cooked. Right, what was Kimi doing? Kimi was racing as if he needed to make up for his terrible last 2 months, which was, I see a gap, I'm going in deep. Oh, God, I carry too much speed. Oh, God, my brakes locked. Oh, God, there goes Charles.
Good luck, everybody else.
But there were a lot of like interactions like that. There was, I don't think it was him. There was another driver who, was it Charles? I think who just took like full curb and gravel to make try to overtake through the last chicane before the final few turns.
I mean, we essentially started the season with 6 rookies, so we knew this was going to happen throughout the season. And
yeah, but Charles
I feel like when
is
the
not a rookie.
No, I'm just saying, but when the season's over, by the way, we need to like go back and recount all of the accidents the rookies either had and or caused, because there have been several. Like we could do that for an entire pod, just relive the accidents and the crashes.
And I felt like
starting
this
in
track
race
1. Starting in the formation lap of race 1.
It's a wet waste. How many Wookiees we're going to quash out? So many Wookiees. So many wet Wookiees quashing out.
All the wet Wookiees.
Pretty much all of them.
Also, so like early in this race, because I think this track was a perfect way to highlight inexperience with drivers, because it is very difficult to overtake. It's a undulating track. It's tight, and early on in this race,
Nick. Undulating.
Undulating. Yeah. Vocabulary is strong. Early in this race, it was when Liam Lawson and Carlos Sainz made a bit of contact, but it just continued to happen. And the first couple times I saw two drivers like bang wheels and like legit, not bump, bang wheels going through turns. I came to a conclusion that I was going to pitch on this pod, which is I don't know if Zandvoort's on the schedule next year, and frankly, I don't think it should be on the schedule going forward. And then by the end of the race, I was like, keep it on the schedule. This was awesome.
25-year contract.
It is not on the schedule, unfortunately. Or fortunately, because I feel like we really haven't gotten good races there before. This was probably the best of the bunch.
Really? I like this track.
And the first undulating track.
And the announcers kept saying there's no overtaking, but then like you watched Alex Albon on the first lap past 5 cars.
Yeah.
There was some, and then wasn't Max's on the outside when he passed?
Yes.
Like, which is very weird for him to see. I honestly, I think this like kind of hurt that narrative if you can't overtake here.
Oh, absolutely. This race almost completely disproved that logic, even if it required getting some elbows out and some more NASCAR style racing. How about also Lando sticking a great move on Max around that same turn around the outside? That one made me legit shout. I was like, oh my God. Like that, it was a great race. It was fun to watch. I want to keep it on the calendar.
Are we at the point now where these drivers, they keep being told, oh, these cars are too big, the track is too narrow, you can't pass here, you can't pass there, yada, 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 and they're like, all right, bet. I feel like we're kind of getting to that point where they're just like, I'm going to go for it and just send it and see what happens. And more often than not, it's producing some really good racing. Maybe these cars and tracks are forcing these drivers to be more of racers, less of drivers.
It felt like everybody spent the break just like ruminating over where everything had gone wrong during the season prior, and they were just like, screw it, full send, first race. And everyone was just like driving angrily the whole time. And I, for one, very much enjoyed it.
That was such a good race. Good radio race as well. There was, as usual, there's just been a lot of good radio messages on there. Did you guys hear Fernando?
Yes.
Where he's like freaking out at them. You always put me into traffic. Brother, you started in P10. Like, you put yourself into traffic. Like,
which I thought the Aston Martins were going to start a lot higher, considering they looked really fast in free practices.
Lance moved up.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Lance moved up into the points. Ollie Behrman moved up into the points. Alex Albon moved up into the points. This was a good, and I see it in the rundown. It is ironic that the only Ferrari to finish in the points was a Haas.
Just as we could have predicted.
As we all foresaw. But, we're not Haas fans here on the Gridiron Podcast. We are soon to be Cadillac fans.
Don't speak for the group.
Well,
actually, no, I do really like Checo and Valtteri.
I know
And
it's going to pain you to root for an American team, but
now
It's hard to cheer
Colton
for America
Herta.
right now.
Yeah.
and Colton Herta, test driver,
And now Colton Herta is the reserve driver. He's moving out of
reserve
IndyCar.
driver. Yeah. A couple things I want to highlight before we move beyond this race. Shout out to Carlos Sainz for still making something out of that dreadful race that was. Granted, I think he was a lap down by the end of the race, but he still finished P13. And what I really wanted to open the discussion is, how frustrated do you think he is in his first season with Williams, where it seems like everything has gone wrong or he's just performed poorly? Like, do you think he's regretting his move? Was it the only move he had? Is he chalking it up to screw it? Next year's the year anyway, as they said, break everything? Because, like, if I'm him, I want to break stuff in the paddock after races like this.
Well, what you're forgetting, Nick, is that car is so tailored to Alex Albon that it's almost impossible for anyone else to drive. No, I think this really was the only move left for Carlos to make, because he waited and waited so long. Remember how many podcasts last year we spent talking about, where's Carlos going to go? It seems like it's Williams, but he's been connected to Audi, which means Sauber next year. Or is Red Bull going to swoop in and go, yeah, you're right, you do deserve. It seemed like Red Bull would be the easy choice, but Helmut Marko was like, nah, we got our boy Liam over here who's just going to be great, phenomenal. At the end of the day, it was Williams or nothing, honestly. So
I think so, but we don't really know the conversations behind the scenes. Like, maybe he did chat with Red Bull, maybe he did chat with Mercedes. Like,
I think he was.
A big part of that could still be the plans that they presented to him for 2026.
Well, remember, that was highlighted in Drive to Survive, the day he was
Yes.
supposed to come sign. He didn't sign.
He didn't. Yeah.
Right.
He had cold feet.
So I definitely think there was some hesitation on Carlos's part, because you're going from Ferrari to one of the worst teams over the past decade plus in the sport. So yeah, I'm sure James Vowles talked up a big game, but I'm still sure now that there's some hesitation in his mind about, can they actually deliver on whatever was said behind those doors, even next year.
Next year is just like I said earlier, like, it feels like everything's just been put into a blender. Like, we don't know which teams are going to be good, which teams are going to be bad. One reason why I don't think it's necessarily Carlos is because I feel like we're seeing Alex get a lot more frustrated with the team than we've ever seen. And it's becoming really constant, where he's on the radio, like, kind of laying into them. And if there's one driver that is like the biggest sweetie pie on the grid that is usually really, really respectful, it's Alex Albon. And I've never really seen him get this consistently fired up on the radio, kind of like laying into them. Like, not the way that he's doing it. I'm like, okay, I don't think this is just a Carlos thing, because you see Alex's frustration, and it feels like that's really been boiling for a while.
Spicy Alex.
I think, and we're not used to Spicy Alex. I do love it. I do love him holding the team accountable, because I think he's a very good driver, and I think Carlos is a very good driver. I love the spice coming from him, but that's a giveaway to me that the team and the car is having a bunch of issues.
I think you're right. And I also think next year, if things don't improve or show signs of improving, I think they're at risk of losing both drivers, because I still think, regardless of his performances this season, Carlos Sainz is still held in very high regard. Like, look at Nico Hülkenberg. Out of the sport twice, back in, finally gets a podium after all these years. If there is a driver that, at the beginning of the season, I would say probably doesn't deserve a seat in Formula One, it'd be A, Lance Stroll, and then B, probably Nico Hülkenberg, because he's had his time, he's been there, he's done that, and he hasn't performed up to the level that they thought he would earlier in his career. That's not the case for Carlos Sainz. He's a race winner, he's been in several teams, and he's very highly regarded. Same with Alex. I think he's proved his worth. So I think, if anything, Williams now has to work to keep them and show them that this is a project worth sticking with.
I concur.
Thank you for both nodding your head in unison. Yeah. Let the record show.
Yeah.
Only great points were made, Sean.
Yes, no notes. I think we wrap this up then by going back to the title fight, because where are we in the points now, Sean?
Oscar's 34 ahead of Lando, and that's quite a mountain to climb. We still have 9 races to go. But remember, back in 2021, when Charles and Max were having kind of their early season battle, Charles had a 50-point lead on Max after a couple of races, and within those couple of races, Max just came and far surpassed him, and then 2022 became what it was. So, you never say never, because you hate to wish bad luck on someone, but Lando's had bad luck. Is Oscar going to have bad luck at some point? who knows? So it's not over by any stretch of the imagination, but the gap is widening.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing one DNF, how much that can swing the points.
Right.
Like, and I feel like you saw so much of that when you saw Lando sitting there with his head in his hands. Like, you knew exactly what he was feeling in that moment. That's what that meant.
I think what we have to keep remembering is how big of a first race in Australia that was, where Oscar slid into the grass. And, I mean, thankfully he kept that car going and managed to save, he come home like 9th or something, like saved a couple of points. But if Lando can put some races together, that points finish, him keeping his car alive in the grass and the Australian crowd cheering him on to get out of the grass, that might honestly save Oscar's season, if it comes down to that. If not, I think Oscar's just going to run away with the title, which, I mean, Oscar's the better driver right now. He just is.
And still isn't feeling an ounce of emotion about it. About the race win, about the championship lead.
None.
Not a smirk.
None.
What's the happiest we've seen him? When he was hanging out with his sister?
When he won Grill the Grid.
Ah, yes. He is just...
A race win, he's like, great work, everyone. Cool. On to the next.
Great work.
Robot.
And I love how his family like is clearly so lively and funny and upbeat. His mom and his sister, like everyone in his family is a character, and he's just like, cool.
It's funny when he was having his when he was getting the trophy presented to him on the podium. I literally was sitting there being like, I love this for Nicole Piastri right now.
Yes.
Because I know she's feeling some happy emotions, even though Oscar is just feeling neutral as always.
Which, if I can bring up the podium for 1 second, Oscar and Max properly celebrated
That's
with
how you do
Isack.
it.
They were spraying him with champagne. It's his first podium in his rookie season. Unlike when Nico Hülkenberg was on the podium at the British Grand Prix, and I mean, he was just kind of celebrating by himself, which, like,
Yeah, because the McLarens are a couple of self-centered drivers.
what are like, yeah. Well, I don't know, because at that Oscar was celebrating with Isack. Did Nico like say something? Did he like piss off the entire grid to not want to celebrate with him? But yes,
I don't think
kudos.
it was a Nico thing. They were just so making everything about themselves because Lando and Oscar had so many big feelings about what happened that they weren't recognizing the weight of this moment. Like, Isack podium was incredible. That was like one of the highlights of the season. But in terms of what's the biggest podium this season, it's obviously Nico Hülkenberg. Like, that's been years and years and years in the making, and it's a stat that everybody talks about. And then when he left the sport, he's back in, but then he's with Kick Sauber. It's like, well, at least he's still racing. He's never going to get his podium. I feel like we had all accepted it. And Lando and Oscar just did not meet that moment at all, as we talked about in the pod before.
because it was such a bit of an awkward podium there.
The cool-down room. Yikes. But
Yes.
the vibes were all around just way better for this. But it still feels like if Max was a part of that Nico podium, it would have looked different.
And also, Isack did get a Lego trophy for his maiden podium, like Nico Hülkenberg got. Although, can we stop making the trophies out of porcelain? I feel like this is just. I know. In Hungary, it's like a whole thing. Like, they have artisans do that because like that is their kind of artwork. That's cool and everything. But like, they're just gonna break them, guys.
They just glue
Like,
back together.
What do you own in your home that's made of porcelain, other than your toilet?
Toilet.
I was gonna say, I'm sure. I mean, I don't, but my parents, I'm sure, have some like dishes and stuff. The good dishes that you would bring
china.
out. Right, like the
Could be
good
me.
stuff. Sean, go get the good dishes out of the cabinet. All right, Mom.
The
Who's
ones that are
coming
on
over for
display.
dinner? Use them once a year. All right, Mom. Cool.
I like that they
all right.
keep the porcelain trophy because then when it breaks, it's like a funny talking point, and then seeing his face, like obviously they could be able to fix it, but
And I feel bad for Isack because he didn't even like smash it or anything.
No.
He didn't like. He literally just like put it down on the ground gently, and it just snapped off. The stem snapped off. He was like, ah! And
well, the design
it
was
was
very
funny.
poor because it's quite heavy,
Right.
and then it was just like
Just
this at the
itty bitty- yeah,
A trophy skips leg day.
yeah.
Couldn't
Don't
be
we
me.
all? Don't we all?
Nope.
All right, let's get into some. We're heading to Monza this week, the Temple of Speed. Let's do some Italian Grand Prix predictions real quick, and then get into NFL talk. Who would like to go first? We're going to
Chivalry
Monza.
not dead. Katie Caldwell.
No, this is too
you're
much
first.
pressure. I wanted to base mine off what you guys were saying.
Chivalry not dead. I'll take it first then. All
And
right,
with
rapid
that, chivalry
fire.
has died.
I'm being chivalrous by acquiescing to her wishes.
Ooh, acquiescing. We need like a chalkboard behind me. I'm just going to go Nick Shook's big words of the day. Acquiescing and undulating. We used ruminate twice.
Unbelievable.
I'm out of big words for the day. P3 is going to be Max Verstappen. P2 is going to be Oscar Piastri. And P1, getting some revenge, Lando Norris. I do not anticipate that Ferrari will deliver because they don't deliver so much that the one meme you shared, Katie, the horse just leaving the logo.
Oh,
fantastic. I quit.
I'm out.
I don't care.
Peace out.
I don't care about their special liveries this weekend. I don't care that Lewis Hamilton's yellow helmet is now yellow and white, which, by the way, when he crashed, I was like, which Ferrari is it? And I saw the yellow helmet, and I got real sad. None of that matters to me. And Mercedes...
Because they both
George
crashed
Russell...
out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but it was when I saw Lewis crash first. George Russell with a quiet P4 last week. I think he's going to be in contention, but I think that is where we stand. Temple of Speed, experienced drivers, McLaren title fight, all involved. That's where I'm at.
I'm going to go... See, now I'm wrestling with the thought of, is this going to be like Ferrari in 2021, where their car was just so terrible that I think both of them finished out of the points in Monza, and it was just like Sebastian Vettel was crashing into those styrofoam, blockers and stuff.
That was a great moment.
Or is this going to be like last year, where we're like, I don't know if Ferrari has it, and then Charles pulls out a win? I'm going to go with the latter. Give me a Lewis Hamilton podium finish.
Hell yeah.
P3. Lewis gets on the podium in P3. I'll go Oscar Piastri P2, and I will go Lando Norris P1, just because it feels like we said this last week, Nick. Just flip a coin at this point. One of the McLarens will wind up on the top step. Just is what it is at this point. Really feel like I'm sticking my neck out going with a Lewis Hamilton podium finish, though.
You
Really
certainly are, and I respect it. I need to be put on disinformation watch because I think I remember this correctly, but I might not at all. But I think the last time that Ferrari double DNF'd, they ended up winning Monza the next race. I do have to fact check that. So
was that
maybe
last year?
That happened, maybe it didn't. But I think that's what my memory tells me. But I'm going to say Charles wins.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hell yeah, brother.
And then we're going to say Lando P2. And then maybe something happens with Oscar this time. Maybe we have Max P3. Nothing really matters anymore.
Nothing matters.
We could just say stuff. It's not against the law.
Just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Everything's made up, and the points don't matter.
I live in a country with free speech. I'm allowed to say this.
I see what you did there. You know what's funny? I was trying to fact check that very quickly. Swung and missed. But I went back to 2023 and I just looked at winners, and it's Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, like just the whole way down. Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen. What a snooze that season was. My God.
But then when Carlos won, it was so unbelievable because it was like, I didn't think this was possible. I didn't think this could happen.
And the way he was having Lando trail behind him, like, Lando's within 0.8 seconds. Yeah, it's on purpose. Dumbass. Oh, okay. I added the dumbass, but Carlos could have said it. All right. Those are some risky predictions, guys. I like it. I like the risky business
here at the Gridiron Podcast.
We're going to Italy this week, Temple of Speed, and we will be back next week with our race reactions. But let's go to week 1 of the NFL. At some point between the start of this podcast and at this point right here, while we shift gears, so to speak, one of us was supposed to come up with like an off-the-wall idea to talk about the NFL. Any luck, guys? Any?
I have one.
Cool. All right. Nick was ruminating.
This is going to be my personality this entire season as it pertains to the New York Giants. By some act, I'm not wishing this on Russell Wilson, but for some reason, Jackson Dart finds his way on the field in their game. And instantly the controversy starts, and eventually he takes that job. I wrote it in QB Index, which was published today, by the way, NFL.com/QB Index. Check out my initial quarterback rankings for the whole season, updated weekly.
We're so back.
Yeah, we're back. But yeah, I think that I'm not even going to wait a month. Something happens. I don't know what it is. Something happens. Jackson Dart takes the field.
Week 1. You're talking about coming up on Sunday in Washington.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's third on the depth chart, right?
No.
He's second?
Is he third on the depth chart? It doesn't matter. Well, I don't care. I don't
think
care.
Jameis is second.
I'm sticking with it. I don't care. He's going to be their quarterback for the majority of the season. Damn it, I'm standing by it.
All right.
No,
So prediction.
So he is second.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. So he is only one, I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to wish an injury on Russell Wilson. I mean, it's a nice guy.
I'm not wishing that.
Weird,
I'm not wishing that.
But maybe 2 quick interceptions, and they're like, let's throw Jackson Dart out there, see what he's got.
Brian Dable, I'm telling you, he wants Jackson Dart on the field this season, and it's going to happen quickly. I don't know when, but I'm saying this week.
I could see them making a lot of kind of irrational moves because I think there's a lot of people in that building fighting for their jobs right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I think Brian
if
Dable's
the
one of
fans are
them.
calling for Jackson Dart, like they're going to be making somewhat irresponsible moves, but I want to see it. Everyone else wants to see it. But I do love a season where everybody's on the hot seat because everybody just gets wild.
Yes. That's what we love here.
Ooh, let's see. Bold prediction. Gosh. What if we see Kirk Cousins week 1?
Oh, that's a nightmare scenario.
Ew.
Oh,
What if we
because
see
he's got
Kirk Cousins?
sick.
In this
Week 1 in
year of our
Atlanta against
Lord
the Bucks.
2025?
What happens? What happens?
Oh, the Bucks are probably up by a lot of points.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't know, man.
Oh, I just hate that.
I know. I'm not, again,
I got nothing
I'm not
for that.
wishing anything on Michael Penix Jr.
No,
But
Sean,
who knows?
You can't follow in my footsteps and just make it crazier by throwing Kirk freaking Cousins on the field. No, I mean we'll accept all submissions. Considering there was no preparation, but
Would be pretty crazy. Would be pretty crazy, Nick.
would be crazy,
But not
man.
impossible. It's improbable, but it's not impossible.
I got nothing for it, Katie.
A bold prediction. I didn't know. I should have thought about this before. Come back to me. I don't know where to go from here.
I'll give you another one. The Bengals continue their streak of being bad early in the season, and the Browns somehow win that game.
I don't feel like that's a hot take
I
or a
don't
bold
think
prediction
it
at
is
all.
either.
No, they
Their
always
defense
suck in
is
the middle.
ass.
Yes, they
Joe
suck.
Flacco throws for 350.
Oh, by the way,
4
I do have to
TDs,
tell you,
0 interceptions.
guys, I was at a Blink-182 concert last week. Hell yeah.
You're
And
always at these shows.
it's the summer of pop punk, so sue me. And there was a guy standing next to me in line wearing a Joe Flacco Browns jersey.
Hell
Like
yeah.
brand new, hot off the presses. It was not a knockoff. It wasn't from one of those, shady websites. It was like an officially licensed NFL jersey.
That's a bad investment.
It was stitched and everything. I'm like, either you are the biggest Joe Flacco fan ever, or you're just such a big Browns fan, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna just get every quarterback. Do you also have a
Stitched?
Kenny Pickett Browns jersey?
We're talking stitched.
It was a nice look.
I went to the Browns preseason game against the Rams, and I saw way too many Shedeur Sanders jerseys, which I didn't realize till after the fact. I was wearing a Josh Gordon jersey because it's a joke in my mind, and it's also 12, and I was like, oh God, I'm one of them, but I'm not. But there were so many Shedeur Sanders jerseys there. I can understand that because they love Dion and they love the story or whatever, they're rooting for him. Buying a stitched Joe Flacco jersey for one freaking season where I could probably guarantee he's not going to play every game is insane.
I love it.
That's FU money right there. And
That is because that's like $230, $240.
Yeah,
It was a
when it comes to
nice
merchandise.
jersey, and I'm like, man, I was like, I wanted to go up and ask him, be like, why do you have this on? Like, how down bad are you?
Are you from Delaware?
Is this a fantasy football punishment?
As someone who loves Joe Flacco, I hate this conversation right now. I'm sitting there being like, I would get a Flacco jersey.
Would you a stitched jersey for $240
If I had
or
FU
probably
money?
$300?
I would just out of spite.
I also think that, well, I also saw him in the lawn, so I don't know if he has FU money if he's sitting back there in the lawn with us poor people,
Like,
you
blew all
know?
his money on the
Big Flacco
Flacco
guy.
jersey.
Yeah, he just spent it all on the Flacco jersey. I think
get
even
his
Joe
use out of
Flacco
it.
would go up to a Blink-182 concert in Tampa, Florida, and be like, why are you wearing my jersey, bro? Thank you, but why? This is interesting.
Joe
Interesting.
Flacco MVP season.
Nick, when
incoming.
do we see Shedeur Sanders?
Oh God, I don't know. Late in the season. I mean, it's gonna be Dylan Gabriel before it's him. We talked about that plenty. I'm so tired of that conversation. Now the narrative this week was, oh, Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Barie were at Ohio State, Texas, watching Arch Manning.
And then left at halftime.
The Browns have already given up. The Browns have already given up on this season. No, idiots. It's the dead week. Lots of people went to that game. Of course they're going to drive to Columbus to go see a potential top prospect who's probably not going to come out after this year, especially after the way he played on Saturday. Stop trying to read between the lines when there are no lines to read between. You idiots.
I think the Steelers had their scouts at the LSU Clemson game, which would make sense because you got Garrett Nussmeier and Kate Klubnik there. I did want to say I loved the comments that I got on that TikTok that I posted last week, Nick, of you and I discussing how the Browns had absolutely, positively sabotaged Shedeur Sanders. And I made the joke that because they drafted him. I mean, like, just they sabotage every quarterback they get their hands on. They can't help it. And so many people started jumping like, no, they didn't sabotage him like they sabotaged Dylan Gabriel. It's not the same. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. I didn't respond to any of them, but these two guys like got into like a shouting match, and they're like, how'd they sabotage him? How'd they not sabotage him? Why is he QB3? And the guy was like, talent, skill, tape, take your pick. I'm just like, yeah. But it just highlights how much of a deeper issue there is with this mistrust that it's insane. And I'm like, what other fifth-round quarterback or draft pick have we treated like this? Like, it's because his last name is Sanders, and yeah, he had a good senior season. He was a Heisman finalist, but clearly more than a couple of teams. I don't know why I'm still talking about this. I'm done.
I know, but I have to give it
like you get me going, and it's just like,
I know.
No, I've already said this before. I don't want to say it again.
So stupid. I have to give a big tip of the cap to Gerald McCoy, though. He said it on Gilbert Arenas has a football-focused podcast with him, Gerald McCoy, Aqib Talib, and randomly Skip Bayless, who, of course, unsurprisingly, was like, Shedeur is special. They are screwing him because he's Skip Bayless, and he's there's a lot of things I would like to say about him. But Gerald McCoy was like, change his name to Johnson. Do you care? And everyone was like, no. And he's like, exactly. Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point right there. It's really not that hard to figure out. Kate, do you have your bold prediction?
Yeah, I think I'm going to tail off the theme of different quarterbacks starting later in the year. I want to see some Jalen Milroe, baby.
Oh.
Are you prepared to not throw the football a lot?
Yeah, fine. I love a Russian quarterback.
Because it's going to be running packages. I mean, I don't know if you saw the preseason game, but it looked a lot like he did at Alabama when he came to throw the football.
Which was not good.
Hey,
I like that, though.
I would just like to see it, you know?
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
I've said about him before. High ceiling, lower floor, low floor.
Very low.
The mechanics are there. We just need some help getting there. But I would be really excited to see Jalen Milroe start a game this year.
I feel like
there's a lot of... There's so many
young
young quarterbacks in the league that were taken later in the draft this year that I think people want to, at some point, see. Whether it's Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Will Howard in Pittsburgh. At some point, Yinzers are going to be like, I want to see Will Howard play if things are going bad. But, hopefully they don't get to that point. God, guys, look,
Sean,
it took an entire summer of me mentally preparing myself to watch Aaron Rodgers, say with a straight face, lead the Steelers out onto the field. They play, I'm in Pittsburgh right now, they play on Sunday against the Jets. So it's Aaron Rodgers versus his old team, Justin Fields versus his old team. And so many talking heads in the Pittsburgh sports media are saying, well, when the Steelers get off to a bad start in that game, it's not even an if. It's like prepare for several 3-and-outs. Because, again, this is the Steelers offense, and they didn't play together at all in the preseason. And I'm just going to, I don't want to overreact, but just, I have to root for Aaron Rodgers. And
you don't technically have to do anything.
No,
I couldn't.
I have to do it.
I'm a woman of principle.
I'm not going to get a jersey. I'm not going to get a $240 stitched Aaron Rodgers jersey and take it to the Plain White Tees concert I'm going to in a week's time.
See, if I did have
it was every freaking concert. What's next?
Plain White Tees and
Dashboard
We the Kings.
Confessional.
And then My Chemical Romance.
Third Eye Blind.
Duh. Everclear.
What's wrong with what's wrong with these concerts that I'm going to? What's wrong with it? I enjoy going to concerts.
I actually love this for you. You've been seeing so many banger concerts that
it's just like it's
my
emo
kid
now
heart.
like It's a defining trait of your personality at this point. Like
That I
Sean
like to
is
go to
just a
concerts?
concert hopper. Yeah, he's just like. But it's
Yeah.
every story, every anecdote that we've gotten from Sean on this podcast this summer has been. So I was at the so and so concert, and
I don't see how this is a problem. I enjoy live music.
either.
Maybe you should go support live music too, Nick.
oh, I do. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just making
Thank
a
you.
note of it.
Sean, if
Keep it
I did
running
have
log.
FU money, as we talked about earlier, I would make a custom Rogers jersey and send it to you.
You can hang it up next to your Kenny Pickett jersey.
I don't have one. I never pulled the trigger on
Super
that.
Bowl
Thank
He
winner,
almost
God.
did.
I
He
almost
did. He
I
almost
almost
put
pulled
the
the
order in through yours truly.
Yes, especially after his second preseason, when I watched Kenny Pickett come down to Tampa and throw 3 touchdown passes on like 11 passing attempts, I almost put the order in.
Brother,
I
after the
was so close.
preseason.
Yes. I was so close.
Sean.
But how good was the Steelers offense that preseason, Nick? In my defense.
Then what happened, Sean?
I've wiped this. My brain has limited capacity, and much like the hard drive on my computer, I've wiped it. All of that is.
I wish I could. I wish I could. And maybe I will need to after this season watching Aaron Rodgers
We're out here
play
wiping hard
for my
drives? What are we up
beloved
to?
Steelers.
I'm going to wipe
I've
my
got
hard
clear-
drive.
I got not wiping the whole thing, but I got to clear space. Editing this show takes up a lot of hard
FBI,
drives.
it's him. Get him. Arrest him. He's right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Nick, why don't you come on over here and have a seat?
Do you know why you're here? Editing the show takes up a lot of space.
But you do such a good job at it.
You do.
All right,
We're
I think
so
we're,
grateful.
Way to fix
we're
it.
burning time. So for the sake of Nick's hard drive, this has been episode 79 of the Gridiron Podcast. We'll see you back here after week 1 of the NFL season concludes and after the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Nick, you okay there, bud?
That was a bad time to take a sip of water.
Week 1, baby. We made it.
Oh, I'm so happy football's back.
Yes.
More so the college than NFL, but I am happy.
While we're here,
But
I
all
do have a
football's
quick
back.
question for the group. Are we so back?
Are we back?
Could we
Hold on.
possibly be
Is it?
Oh, yeah, we're back.
unbelievably back?
Is it? Wait, hold on.
We have NFL and
still
a race
bald.
this weekend.
I'm still bald. We're back.
Guys, so when I was at a concert, the band said we're back, so...
Oh, nice. There you go. Well
Sean
done.
at a concert. Fork Founded Kitchen.
Where can they follow us, Sean?
They can follow us on Instagram at Gridiron Pod. That's on IG at Gridiron Pod. And then you can email us at The Gridiron Podcast 3. That's The Gridiron Podcast number 3. Damn those
Yeah,
other
those
two.
other two.
At gmail.com. You know what? Those other two, I hope you have the football season you deserve. I hope your team has the football season it deserves. So I hope you're Saints fans, I think is what I'm saying. They're both just New Orleans Saints fans. This has been episode 79. For Nick Shook and Katie Caldwell, I'm Sean Barie. As always, live life in the fast lane, and we'll see you later.
And we'll see Sean at a concert near you.
Good night, Canada.
Check yes, Juliet.